Welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Today we're looking at a paper trending on X, published on December 31st, 2025, just about 3 days ago. It introduces a video diffusion model that successfully disentangles space and time, allowing users to independently control camera angles and playback speed, enabling effects like bullet time or reverse motion from a single monocular video. The paper is titled SpaceTimePilot, Generative Rendering of Dynamic Scenes Across Space and Time. And, as we'll see later, the visual results for these 4D explorations are really impressive compared to existing baselines. And for those interested in the implementation, the authors have shared their code on GitHub. So, Figure 1 illustrates these capabilities vividly, using 3 scenarios. In each pair, the top strip displays the source video, while the bottom shows the model's new output. The first example generates a slow-motion sequence of ballet dancers, effectively stretching the timeline. Below that, the second case demonstrates reverse motion, playing the scene backward from the end to the start. Finally, the bottom section achieves a bullet time effect, freezing the swing dancers at frame 60 while the camera rotates around them, which proves that spatial and temporal controls are fully independent. To understand the difference, Figure 2 maps the control landscape on a grid where the horizontal axis is time and the vertical axis is the camera angle. The blue diagonal cells represent the original input video. On the left, standard camera control models can change the viewpoint, but they are locked to moving forward in time. The middle panel shows 4D multi-view models, which generate isolated frames, shown as dots, but fail to produce fluid video. By contrast, the right panel illustrates SpaceTimePilot, which enables continuous trajectories in any direction, effectively decoupling the camera from the timeline. Figure 3 details the training strategy, called temporal warping, which allows the model to learn these non-standard timelines. The top panel shows how the authors reorder frames from a standard source video, in green, to create synthetic target sequences in blue, like reverse playback or slow motion. The bottom section compares this against traditional schemes. While previous methods on the left only train on linear forward motion, the rightmost plot reveals how temporal warping introduces diverse, non-monotonic paths. This variety teaches the network to treat time as a fully independent control signal. Well, while the warping strategy is clever, true precision requires data that actually contains these complex space-time movements. Table 1 compares the author's solution, a new dataset called Cam by Time, against prior work. The top section shows that standard benchmarks like RE10K often lack dynamic scenes entirely. Even the dynamic datasets in the middle rows, such as Kubrick 4D, usually lock the source and target to the same linear timeline. In contrast, the bottom row highlights how Cam by Time supports fully arbitrary temporal sampling, which is crucial for teaching the model to separate motion from camera perspective. Okay, Figure 4 visualizes the structure of this Cam by Time dataset. The top panel displays a dense grid, where the vertical axis tracks the camera trajectory and the horizontal axis represents animation time. Within this matrix, the green squares along the diagonal form a standard source video, which is extracted and shown separately in the bottom row. Crucially, since every cell is rendered, the model can learn from any combination, not just this diagonal path, which provides the rich supervision needed for disentanglement. Alright, with the training strategy defined, Table 2 quantifies how well it actually works. Here, the authors compare their method against modified versions of Recam Master, a state-of-the-art competitor. The columns break down performance across 3 distinct temporal tasks: controlling direction, adjusting speed, and creating bullet time effects. In the bottom row, SpaceTimePilot consistently takes the lead, achieving the highest scores across all categories. Specifically, for average PSNR, it reaches 21.16, significantly outperforming the joint data baseline, which sits at 17.86. So, having seen the performance, Figure 8 reveals the architectural modifications that make this possible. The diagram displays the diffusion pipeline on the left and the detailed transformer block on the right. The left side shows how videos are encoded into latent space. The expanded view on the right highlights the key mechanism. Notice the 2 modules at the bottom, the camera embedding and the new time embedding. These inputs flow into the self-attention and projector layers above. The flame icons on these specific blocks indicate that they are the only parts updated during training, effectively teaching the model to handle the new temporal controls while keeping the rest of the network frozen. Wrapping up, 2 things stand out. the successful decoupling of spatial and temporal controls, and the clever use of synthetic data to overcome the lack of real-world training pairs. This approach finally allows rigorous 4D exploration from a single video, setting a new standard for controllable generative rendering. That's it for this episode of the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Thanks for listening.